Hey guys, I want to make a video going over the most important and useful third-party tools and third-party websites in Path of Exile 1. A lot of this applies to Path of Exile 2 as well, but it's mostly for PoE 1. So I have all these websites listed up here. Go to them one by one. First one, of course, is Path of Building. You probably all have this, but I just wanted to mention it just in case there's any new players watching. Obviously, this tool is very, very strong. And for PoE 1, it's really mandatory, way more than PoE 2, because everyone uses it for like every single build guide. You know, you can make your own builds in here. If you follow build guides like mine, I have like full note sections, you know, full skill trees, full gem slots, everything, right? Like I said, if you have not used this before, if you're a new player, definitely download it first. I would say it's pretty much mandatory for playing Path of Exile 1 nowadays, especially if you're following a build guide. Next one is Awaken PoE Trade. This is a trade macro, which is very useful. I can show it in game here. So essentially all you got to do is Control D on any item, and it'll instantly tell you the price of the item. You can also adjust the stats here, because obviously for some items, you know, a unique, for example, Ashes of the Star, the quality of all skill gems will make this item more expensive. So if you do use this, make sure you do adjust the stats, but only adjust the important stats. You know, for example, in this case, experience gain of gems is usually not relevant, and it's just the quality of all skill gems. All attributes also not relevant. So yeah, this screen here is 10 divine or 1 divine, right? It's very useful. It allows you to quickly price check any single item in the game, even rares as well, although rares are more complicated and you have to be a little bit more experienced to understand how you should price check your rare, because not every stat on a rare is relevant, of course. But at the very least, if you're new to PoE 1, this will help you understand the price of uniques, because at a base value, you can always see the, the base value of a unique, and then you can start messing around with the stats to see which stats are important and which stats aren't. Because uniques do vary widely on prices depending on the stats it has, because the ranges are quite big. The next one I'm going to talk about is X Mouse Button Control. Now this website looks like it's from 2002, but it's safe to use and it's allowed by GGG. It's a one-to-one action with the keybind, so it's completely safe and allowed to use. I use it all the time on stream. And essentially what this does, it allows you to rebind any key on your mouse. Now you might have a mouse or software that already allows you to do this. If you don't, you can get this one. Why is this useful in PoE? Well, essentially it just allows you to click really fast, right? Like you can just instantly click a bunch of orbs into your stash tab. My stashes are changing because it's a setting to change, but yeah, it's just way faster than normal clicking, right? Like using your scroll wheel to left click, it's just way faster. So I do recommend this if you play a lot, or if you don't play that much, to be honest. It's just kind of useful in general, and you can set this to only work in PoE. I rebind my scroll wheel, so I scroll up and scroll down to left click, so both of them will left click in game, and this allows me to easily stash very fast and very efficiently. Our next website I want to talk about is PoEDB. So this is not a third-party software, but this website is extremely useful. Usually always has the newest, latest data mine info about PoE, like usually right before a big patch. It also has like everything you kind of need to know about the game. It'll have like detailed numbers of specific boss damage numbers, details of like modifiers, like pretty much everything. It's the database of PoE. So it takes, all the data files from Path of Exile and puts it into a digestible, readable format in a website. So very useful. There's so much stuff you can do here. You can look at items, you can look at uniques, you can look at skill gems, look at like specific boss mechanics. Like I can type like Exarch here, for example. And if we go to the Seer Exarch, it'll start giving you all the information about the Exarch boss, like what uniques it drops, the Exarch Atlas tree modifiers, the Seer Exarch itself, like how much life it has, how much damage it does, everything, right? So very useful website. A little bit more for advanced players for sure, but it is nice to check some things if you want to specifically know, certain mechanics in the game. Last website I'll talk about real quick is Path of Exile. This is pretty useful, especially if you're more new to crafting, want to learn how to craft. You can always use Path of Exile to simulate crafts in game, so you don't accidentally waste currency on a craft that simply doesn't work. So this, you can verify all crafting methods. So there's so many things you can use this for, but like a basic example, you can just see how much average tries it takes to get an item you want. In this example, I'm using Anger Essence. I'm trying to get tier 2 or better cold damage, and I have a fractured line damage from the bow. This is a pretty common crafting method for bows in PoE 1 without recoms, and it'll just tell me how much tries on average will this take. So I roughly know the cost of this craft, which says 105 Anger Essence. So that's how much it's going to take on average. Now, of course, this is average. You could get lucky or unlucky, but yeah, it's pretty nice to know how much it's going to take to get a craft. There's also way more advanced stuff you can do with this as well. So you can also go with an emulator. You can import an item from directly in game. So Alt Control C. So we go in game real quick. Alt Control C, paste it in here. So you paste the item in here. Alt Control C in game, hit import, and it'll copy the item directly to what you have. And you can use this to see different crafting methods. Like for example, use a Veiled Orb and see what it does, see the average chances and all that. There's a lot of things you can do with this crafting method. You can more or less essentially one-to-one emulate the crafting in game once again, so you don't waste currency, or you can use this as a learning tool. But yeah, That's pretty much about it. I didn't want to go that much in depth on each resource. I just want to give you a base explanation and a base example of which each resource does. They're all very, very useful, and I do recommend all these third-party tools or third-party softwares of PoE. It makes the game a lot more enjoyable, at least in my opinion. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, but that's about it.